What's up guys, I'm back, and as promised, this month's upload is going to be my cast overview for Pokemon Type Wild. I'll be giving you a quick rundown of each of the characters in turn, so you can see what their archetypes are, what they're good at, and what their general game plan is, so that you can get a good idea of who you might like to try in this game. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, first up we have Gengar. Now, Gengar falls under the Zoner archetype, and for those who don't know what that means his main game plan is to keep you out. And to that end, he has his projectile Shadow Ball, which is really good. You can throw the slow version to make people, second guess their approaches, or the fast version to catch people sleeping. His is also Arrow K. Now, that is really good because then he can just kind of hang back, and if he sees you come at him, boom, Shadow Ball. Now, that's not all he has in the way of zoning, of course. He has his Standing Heavy Punch poke. This is great for space control, and as you can see, it has really good pushback, which is very important on zoner characters. And then his other main poke, his Standing Heavy Kick. It's really, really surprisingly long range. Like right about here? Yeah. And that cancels into his specials, which is important because it gives him his knockdown. Or, you can just push yourself farther away with Shadow Ball if you want. But more often than not, you want his knockdown. Now, why is that on a zoner character? Zoner characters don't want to go in. Well, Gengar breaks the mold and tries to get in. He'll get his combos, get the knockdown, and then he gets really strong Okizeme. Now, he has three main tools for this. First off is his Standing Light Kick. Plus on block, really fast, starts his combos. Generally your safest option. If, they mistime a DP on Wake Up, it's, you might be able to block in time, but you still get good reward off of it too. Now, that's not his only plus on block move. He also has this, Up Heavy Punch. Up Heavy Punch, plus on block, launches for a combo. That's pretty scary. Damage is really good on this too. If you can get the double lick loop, that's really good too. But as you can see, really good reward on this. I'll just do the easy combo just so you can get a good idea. Yeah, there you go. And really scary to deal with, especially since it's plus. Like, such good reward, plus on block, can't go wrong with that. But none of this would be threatening if you didn't have something to guess between. And to that end, he has his Command Grab. His only way to combo into Super. And look at the damage. That's scary damage right there. Now, that means you have plus on block, or Command Grab. And neither of those are good options for the opponent. If they block, they get the command. But if they block, they could also eat the plus frames. So that's a really scary situation for the opponent. So if they attempt to jump out, you can catch them with this. If you're fast enough, you can catch them with this. If they're trying to jump this Command Grab, they're going to get hit. But if they're trying to block, that means you get to finally let the Command Grab rip, get your big time damage. So that's Gengar's game plan really, is to use your big pokes and your fireballs to push the opponent into a really bad spot until you can get your knockdown and then go to town with Gengar. So if you like really strong wake up pressure or really frustrating the opponents from getting in, Gengar is the character for you. Next up we have Snorlax, and in case you couldn't already tell, he is our grappler. Now, for those who don't know what that means, grapplers all have one thing in common, and that is that they have a command throw. And as you can see, it does a hefty chunk of damage, and the only way to escape that damage is to jump. Which means that it's really scary when you knock your opponent down because you could do command throw, or you could do something else that's big and damaging like this. But in order for that to be threatening, you have to get close, you see. See, even though I was pretty close there, it still whiffs. I had to take a couple more steps forward. But then you might ask, well, how does Snorlax get close then? Well, I'll show you. He has a couple tools. First off is his Armored Mega Punch, which you just saw. If you see your opponents at the range where they like to throw out their, their big long-range poke, then you might armor through it, and then boom, you just, you get your combo. you're all set. But maybe you're not in range to armor through something. Maybe you're, you know, all the way back here. Do you have something back here? Well, yes, you do. You have this move right here, Double Edge. Goes full screen, and you know it makes that sound effect if you know I had the sound. But really good for whiff punishing slower stuff. But it does require a charge input. As you saw, I messed it up because it didn't have a charge. So that's worth noting. Your other good whiff punish tool is your super, which is Hyper Beam. Pretty self-explanatory. It erases projectiles and it goes really far, really fast. But yeah, those are Snorlax's tools to get in. But as you can see, he moves pretty slow, so you know he can get overwhelmed or zoned out pretty hard. But if you don't mind the slow movement and you really love this situation right here, where the command grab is threatening, and no matter what happens, you're probably going to get some big damage, Snorlax is the way to go, for sure, for sure. Next up on our list we have Combusken, and Combusken is pretty fast. All about moving around the screen wherever he wants to be. And because of that, he's really strong at whiff punishing. His damage output isn't as high as the other characters, but as you can see, he's small, he's fast, and that makes him hard to hit. So, if that's something you like, he'll probably be right up your alley. But I want to give you a word of advice, and that is Combusken's pressure is very, very limited. He has no plus on block normals at all. And none of his specials are plus on block either, just so you know. This is the closest he comes. It's safe and it does a lot of guard damage, so sometimes maybe let it rip and see, you know, if you can get a guard break. And one of the other key things about Combusken is that he really thrives off his assists. Now, I'm not really showing them off here because, again, training mode is pretty sparse, but he has some true guard break setups with his Beautifly assists, so I would recommend experimenting with that if you want to give him a shot. But if you like your fast, whiff punish heavy characters, he's got his nice stand heavy punch, nice crouch heavy punch, and a charge move to confirm off of them. He also has a decent anti-air in Fire Spin, so if you know you want to frustrate your opponents, and he also has this interesting, unique air option with his quick attack. I don't think the air version is very safe. Obviously, it doesn't even give you a knockdown, so it's not very rewarding. But he does have his Mega Kick, and that does give you a knockdown. So you can run away again, evidently, because that is what Combusken does best. Get his hits, and then leave. So if that's the kind of character you like to play, nice hit and run style, good at whiff punishing, like to be where you want to be on screen, Combusken is definitely the character for you. But if low damage isn't really your thing, and you like hanging around when you get your hits, maybe the next character will be more up your alley. Next up we have my personal favorite, Blaziken. Now, Blaziken falls under the Shoto archetype. Now for those who don't know what that means he's got Fireball, Spin Kick, and Uppercut. Or a Dragon Punch for the connoisseurs out there. Now, anyone who's played Shotos before knows what they're looking at here. We got a very aggressive style Shoto. We got fast movement speed. I mean, look at this forward dash. This is fantastic. Not to mention a good backdash. Now, he's comparable to Ken rather than Ryu, given that he is the more aggressive Shoto. He's got especially good normals, very long range, and very versatile too. A lot of his normals are good in like a lot of situations. For example, his crouching light kick, one of his best buttons. Plus on block, you can use it to hit confirmity or knockdowns. It's very, very good. And that's his staple button and his staple combo. Very, very good. But even just these 4 hits do a lot of damage. And that's one of the areas Blaziken really excels. His is just sheer damage output. And he has the passive damage on burn if you get lucky. So, very good all-around character. Tools for a lot of situations, but most notably his damage output is ridiculous, especially with this move right here, Fire Punch, his wall bounce move. And I dropped the combo, but look at the damage on that. And then maybe passive from burn. That's huge damage output. Now, Blaziken has some really unique interactions with the juggle technique system, which I will cover later in a different video. But for now, what you need to know is good pressure. You got your strike throw mix up with this because you can combo off his throw with his DP as well, which is really good. And you got this strike that you can combo off of, this strike you can combo off of, and your throw which you can combo off of. And that creates a very scary character in a very simple package. He's one of the easiest to play. As soon as you get his motions down and learn what his combos are, you're right as rain. And they're not that hard to get. Not to mention also has projectile super, just for record. But yeah. And of course he's also got his good pokes. You know, he got standing light kick, crouching light kick, forward heavy kick, heavy punch is good with punish button. You can buffer that into blaze kicks as well, which is very, very nice. And even just those 3 hits, potential burn damage as well. It's insane. This character is all about damage output, has really good mix-ups, but also has really good neutral tools as well. So, if you like the aggressive style Shotos, you like your big damage, Blaziken's the character for you. Next character on our list is Gardevoir. Now, Gardevoir also falls under the Zoning archetype. Gardevoir's projectile is really, really good, in fact. Got slow and fast versions, much like Gengar's does. But she also has a trap-based projectile. And this is the light punch version, it goes about this far, and then the heavy punch version goes further. Now, if you like your track-based zoners, you already know what you're looking at. You set the traps, you throw the projectiles, they get further away, it gets harder and harder for them to come in. Now, Gardevoir also has good zoning normals. Standing heavy kick comes to mind, it's got a nice good hitbox, comes out pretty fast. Standing light kick is okay too. And then a lot of her normals push away pretty well too, so like, that's just jab jab, heavy punch, which does combo, but I'm apparently not doing it fast enough. And to boot, Gardevoir also has a teleport. You can do this with quarter circle back or quarter circle forward and kick. And obviously the heavy kick version goes further. And as if that wasn't enough options to keep the opponent away, she also has an air dash. You can dash forward, backward, obviously. And to make her even more annoying, her super is Imprison. And see that little X on the opponent's icon right there? That means they can't do special moves, and it lasts about 10 seconds. And that's a long time that they can't do specials. And that gives Gardevoir a lot of easy screen control, because a lot of people's specials are how they get in versus Gardevoir. But, I mean, if you're a zoner player and you like more traditional zoners than Gengar, then Gardevoir is probably the character for you. Alright, next character is Breloom. Breloom is a really, really fun character. I really like Breloom a lot. Breloom, pretty fast, pretty good mobility. The jumps are really good too. Excellent backdash and forward dash. But what really sets Breloom apart is this right here. This is Seed Bomb, the heavy kick version specifically. And because of this move alone, Breloom falls under the aggressive trapper character category. Think Ibuki in Street Fighter or Sceptile in Pokken. That's the category that Breloom falls under, and it's all because of this. And as soon as this is on the ground, you control that portion of the screen. They are not going to walk there. It is really, really it's just way too scary for them to go there. Because hits, look at the damage. That's pretty good for free screen control. So basically, they have to contest this before it hits the ground. And they can't like blow it up themselves or anything. It's completely transcended. Once it hits the ground, you control that portion of the screen. And boom, you walk them down to the corner, and you're good to go. Now, if that was Breloom's only 2-shoe, it wouldn't be very good. But Breloom also has good reaching normals. This is standing heavy punch. And this specifically, this move right here, that is up and heavy kick. It's a really good overhead. It combos. It's kind of stupid. It's not disadvantageous on block. It's really good. And to cap it all off, Breloom has Drain Punch. And the way it works with the combo counter is a little weird, but it does combo. Don't worry about that. But it combos, you deal damage, and it heals you. And then you throw another Seed Bomb, and you get screen back. I mean, what more do you want? You also have the Light Kick version, which controls a little bit of airspace, which is nice. So if your opponent's trying to get over your grounded Seed Bomb, maybe you throw the air one, and it catches them trying to get over your grounded one. And another good answer is Breloom's Uppercut. So if you really like screen control, you like your big buttons, your big specials. This is Charge Back Forward and Punch. It's Mach Punch. Yeah, but all in all, screen control. If screen control is your thing, and you like playing aggressive, Breloom is the character for you, for sure. Next up on the list, we have Swalot, and Swalot is a really, really wacky character. Now, this is the first one that's a bit harder to say some good stuff about, but he's got some stuff. But anybody who knows this game pretty well will tell you Swalot is the worst in the game. But if that's, if you're always like, hey, I want to be that low tier hero, well, you already found your character. But let me tell you a bit about what Swalot does do. Now, Swalot is a very gimmicky character because of this move right here. This is Stockpile. You just push both punches and you get, well, a little stockpile down there in the corner right there. And you can do it up to 3 times. And it, well, it has a couple follow-ups, obviously. And depending on how many stockpiles you have, they change. The first is, of course, forward punch. And with all 3, it's a really cool Hyper Beam. But with just 1, it's a, kind of fast projectile. With 2, it's, well, 2 fast projectiles. But it's not your only option. You can also do down punch to swallow and get some health back. Now, it doesn't show it perfectly because it's training mode, but rest assured, you will get health back. Yeah, and level 3 is actually worth a good bit. But that's his main gimmick. And now, normally, he would be pretty fine, except that there's one caveat. I have my other stick down here, so I can show you. When he has a stockpile, if he gets hit, he loses it. And that's a problem, because you don't want to lose your big attack or your big healing just because you got jabbed. It's not fun. It's a really bad thing. Other than that, though, he does have a couple of these little poison clouds that have nice hitboxes, as you can see. He's not necessarily a zoner, which is, pretty evident by the fact that days come out pretty slowly. He also has a pincer. And those have pretty good hitboxes too. His other specials aren't really much to write home about, except his command throw. He has a command throw. It's not quite as strong as Snorlax is there, but it's decent. Hey, command throw is a command throw. He also has a command counter with the reverse DP input, and depending on which buttons you hit, it'll counter at different heights. This is really situational, but you look really cool when you pull it off, so feel free to give it a shot. But yeah, if you like playing weird characters with weird hitboxes, or you like playing the low tiers, or you like gimmicks, why don't you give Swalot a try? Next character up is Lopunny. Now, Lopunny is a very unorthodox character. She does fall into the rushdown archetype, but not in the most conventional way. Perhaps the best way to show it is just this. Look at that. Triple jump character. That's, in and of itself, that is not a trait that any other character possesses. And it's all because of this special move right here, bounce. And you just push both kicks to get it. And depending on her jump trajectory, she will bounce in that direction. Neutral jump, neutral, back jump, back bounce, forward jump, forward bounce. And as you can see, you can do it pretty low. Not too low, but this creates very frightening mix-up situations for the opponent. Because you could land and do it low, you could jump again, you could bounce. It just creates really scary spots to get in. So Lopunny will mostly be jumping around using this move, and eventually she'll land a bounce and get these ridiculous combos off. Because you can also cancel into it for combos like these. Now combos like these are a little hard to land on Lopunny herself because of the weird hurt box, but rest assured that when you hit them, they will do big damage. And you can substitute the air strings for different normals depending on the character. See, that one works better on Lopunny. And do you see that damage? That's ridiculous. All because you were jumping around and they happened to block on the wrong side. So that's what makes Lopunny really threatening. As for her normals, she has a couple weird mixes of long range and really short range normals. So once you get up close, you might try to go for your special cancelable ones, such as crouching light kick or up heavy kick, so you can cancel into bounce to set up that situation. But other than that, if you like playing really weird airborne characters or really frustrating the opponents and just hitting them a lot of the time and getting good reward off of it, Lopunny's probably your go-to character. And last but not least, we have Lucario. Now, Lucario, as one might expect, also falls under the Shoto archetype. And if you've been paying attention to the rest of the video, you know that means fireball, spin kick, sort of, and uppercut. Now, as you might also have guessed if you're a fighting game player, Lucario is the more defensive, or perhaps a better term would be neutral-based Shoto, whereas Blaziken is more aggressive. Lucario is more, has better projectile, and can play really defensive with his projectile and his retreating spin kick, which is unique to him. He has the forward-moving one with the heavy kick version, and the backward-moving one with the light kick version. So as you can see, he can play a very defensive ground game with these two moves in conjunction, and then anti-air with this. But that does not mean his offensive pressure is weak, as he has a unique run. Now, instead of dashing like other characters, he'll just keep running until you, let go or you do something else. But if you jump out of his run, he will do a short hop, unlike his regular jump. What this creates is a really scary 50-50 on knockdown, because if he's running at you, he can do this short hop for an overhead, or just go right into crouching light kick for his low. Now that's a very, very threatening mix-up, because with his last special move, Force Palm, he can get some huge, huge damage combos off. Like this. And he can combo out of it, into it, from either of his run options. And that's very scary. Also very scary is his air-to-air with his jumping light kick, because you can cancel that into Tatsu. And also get combos off of it. So, and yeah, his special moves, his reward is very scary. His normals are good too, though. For neutral, you got standing light kick, standing heavy punch, standing heavy kick, forward heavy kick. I mean, I could go on and on. Pretty much all his normals are good. So, if you like your neutral-based Shotos, good reward, being able to play in basically any way you want, Lucario is a character for you. Well, there you have it. That's the whole cast. I hope this video gave you a better understanding of what each of the characters do, and who all you might like to try in Pokemon Type Wild. If you'd like to learn more, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want to go even deeper than that, be sure to check out the official Type Wild Discord I created. I'll be sure to link it in the description. But anyways, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.